Our incredible journey begins with a powerful dream, a dream that has always ignited our spirit, the dream of unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos. It's not just encoded in our DNA, it's an unquenchable thirst, an insatiable desire that propels us forward. This relentless curiosity has made us gaze at the night sky and yearn for more than just what we know. It's what fuels our fascination with the moon, driving us to dream of building new homes on the rust-red plains of Mars. For generations, humans have gazed at the distant red planet, imagining what it would be like to touch its surface, to breathe its air. And now, that distant dream is teetering on the edge of becoming a remarkable reality. We are on the brink of embarking on the very first voyage to Mars, an odyssey that will span months, taking us far from the comforts of Earth into the depths of space. In a confined spacecraft, we will live, work, and dream as we journey toward a world that has been mysteriously out of reach for so long. But have you ever thought about what the journey to Mars will be like? Or have you asked yourself if other beings exist beyond Earth? Join us as we uncover the mysteries of these puzzles. But before diving deeper into the details, quickly subscribe to our channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on space updates. In the last century, we ventured to extreme and awe-inspiring locations, the South Pole, the ocean's depths, and even the moon. Yet, another grand expedition beckons us, a journey from the Earth to Mars. Back in the 1960s, humans dreamt of space exploration, which led to their focus on lunar exploration as part of NASA's Apollo program. This Apollo program was a series of space missions conducted by the United States, with the primary goal of landing humans on the moon and bringing them safely back to Earth. The first successful moon landing mission, Apollo 11, occurred in July 1969, with astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin becoming the first humans to set foot on the lunar surface. Back then, we were satisfied with the achievement, but as time went on, we began imagining what it would be like to expand our exploration. Now, NASA, the space agency, has its sights set on a bold goal, which is landing humans on Mars by the 2030s. You see, the moon, unlike Mars, is a stone's throw away from Earth. It's merely about 240,000 miles away, and a quick 3-day trip gets you there. But when it comes to Mars, well, it's a different story. It's a whopping 35 million miles away through the vastness of space. Space exploration was already a tough nut to crack when the aim was to set foot on the moon. Now reaching Mars is even more complex. It involves numerous challenges to overcome, both technical and physical. But NASA isn't backing down. They've got a solid plan for human exploration, including powerful rockets, top-notch spacecraft, upgraded launch facilities, and a well-thought-out mission blueprint for the journey to Mars. So, how does NASA plan to move humans from the moon to the Martian surface and back safely to share their incredible experiences? Given our history, it's hardly surprising that Star Trek was the first science fiction series to captivate mainstream audiences. It featured a courageous crew aboard an incredible spaceship, boldly going where no one had gone before. While we may not be at Star Trek levels yet, NASA has devised a comprehensive plan for sending the first humans to Mars and bringing them safely back home. The crucial initial step is establishing a sophisticated and permanent presence on the moon. Although it may not seem significantly different, transitioning from the moon to Mars is much more feasible than attempting a direct Earth to Mars journey. The first step involves astronauts journeying to the Lunar Gateway, where they'll board a specially designed spacecraft known as the Deep Space Transport. This remarkable vessel comes equipped with a high-powered propulsion system, enabling it to navigate between the Lunar Gateway and Mars itself. This Lunar Gateway is like fiction. To understand how it works, imagine a space station circling the moon. It's like a cosmic pit stop, equipped with special solar-powered engines that can help it move around the moon. Astronauts will hitch a ride from Earth to this gateway and then use it as a launching pad to head toward Mars. This lunar pit stop opens up the possibility for astronauts to visit different places on the moon, even its south pole. The journey from the Lunar Gateway to Mars will take roughly 6 months. During this trip, astronauts will experience both weightlessness and a bit of gravity, which is pretty interesting in itself. But here's the big question. Why do we need to stop at the moon before aiming for Mars? This is actually a thrilling race among the stars. It might not seem like a huge deal, but going from the moon to Mars is way easier than attempting a direct trip from Earth to Mars. You see, Earth is a fantastic place with its gravity and atmosphere, but these good qualities also make it tricky to send stuff into space. The moon, on the other hand, doesn't pose these challenges. To reach Mars, we first need to establish a solid and long-lasting presence on the moon. The moon offers some cool advantages. It's like a testing ground where we can try out important technology, such as life support systems and homes that we'll use on Mars. Plus, the moon's weaker gravity makes it simpler to launch spacecraft headed for Mars using less energy compared to launching from Earth. While survival on the moon is more challenging, solving this puzzle would turn the moon into an ideal spaceport, a gateway to the solar system. This is the ultimate goal of NASA's Artemis program. Now, this is where the Artemis missions come into play, as they aim to teach us how to live on the moon, utilizing resources found on site, such as water and oxygen, and constructing infrastructure from lunar materials. Simultaneously, NASA is expanding its robotic presence on Mars. This includes deploying flying machines on the Red Planet, with the successful test of the Ingenuity drone paving the way for exciting possibilities in exploration and sample collection. NASA even has plans to establish an autonomous space station in Mars orbit, serving as a permanent waypoint for missions to Mars and their return journeys. The next phase of Martian research involves sample return missions, moving away from the one-way flights that characterized earlier missions. This is the essence of NASA's Moon to Mars strategy, establishing a lunar foothold, mastering survival on an inhospitable moon, learning all we can about Mars, and laying the robotic groundwork for the first human arrivals. With all these elements in place, the idea of embarking on Mars will finally be set, and we can be ready to start our journey. But before we humans set foot on Mars, there will be supply drops to ensure that everything needed for survival and the return journey is pre-positioned on the planet. This process will start with Artemis 10, which will deliver Mars cargo Stage 1 to lunar orbit. Artemis 11 will follow the same pattern, with lunar surface missions and the deployment of Mars cargo Stage 2. A 25-ton Mars lander will carry pre-deployed cargo, including propellant for the return ascent, power sources, and mobility equipment. This will ensure that before the crew arrives, there will be a pre-deployed ascent vehicle on the Martian surface waiting for them. Artemis 12 is a significant mission, as it will deliver the Mars 1 human lander, surface subsystems, and the transit Mars ship to the Gateway Station, where a crew of 4 will operate for 134 days at a time. NASA plans to use the Gateway as the departure point for the crew's mission to Mars. The main event will involve 2 astronauts landing on Mars in a pressurized vehicle serving as both a habitation module and a rover. This habitat will be their home for 30 days on the Martian surface, supporting their scientific exploration. The habitat's dual purpose as a rover is crucial because it will take time for the crew to adjust to Mars' reduced gravity after months of zero-gravity spaceflight. Looking at NASA's recent landing of the Perseverance rover involved entering the Martian atmosphere in a capsule, deploying a massive parachute, autonomously selecting a landing site. The thin Martian atmosphere necessitated a propulsive landing with small rockets, slowing the descent to a hover. The capsule's jetpack then acted as a crane, gently lowering the rover to the surface. However, the method for landing the crewed vehicle on Mars is yet to be determined. Now, there are 2 mission profiles for traveling to Mars, which involves a short stay and a long stay. In the short stay scenario, the outbound journey takes 217 days, utilizing a gravitational assist from Venus to boost the spacecraft. This means that the crew spends 30 days on Mars and faces a grueling 403-day return trip in deep space. In contrast, the Long Stay mission involves a 210-day direct journey from Earth to Mars, with a 496-day stay on Mars. The return window is shortened to 210 days due to an ideal transfer window. It's important to note that these plans are based on current technology, but NASA is working on a next-generation propulsion system that could significantly shorten transit times. It will take careful planning, cutting-edge technology, and the commitment of astronauts and scientists to complete the mission to Mars. But with the partnership between NASA and DARPA aims to create a spacecraft powered by a nuclear thermal rocket engine, which promises 3 to 5 times greater efficiency than chemical rockets. This could reduce a Mars mission's transit time from 8 months to as little as 45 days. While the challenges are formidable, the indestructible human spirit and unwavering dedication have a history of overcoming obstacles. Our innate desire for exploration drives us onward, and Mars is the next frontier. What are your thoughts on this exploration? Is the risk worth it? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting updates. Thanks for watching.